What's up guys, NoleJP here. How you all doing today, my friends? It's Monday, October 31st. Halloween is here, so hopefully everyone is getting dressed up and loading up your candy bags with sugar because Infinite Warfare is 4 days away from release, and I'm sure you all will be putting down more sugar this coming weekend than any one human being should be doing at any one given time. Do it in moderation, people. This game will be out for the next year, so don't kill yourselves and stay up too late. Try to build in a little bit of sleep and continue to function like a normal human being. What I have for you guys today is an update video on the multiplayer maps, a little bit of an update from the video we did about a month ago, and what we will see here in a few days. In the background is a pretty good game I picked up on Throwback, playing some domination, so hopefully you guys enjoy that, and definitely subscribe to the channel if you're new, so let's go ahead and get this going. So what I'm going to cover with you guys today is what we know about the multiplayer maps at this point. If you played the beta, which most of you did, we got our hands on 5 different maps. I'll go through those ones quickly with you and give some of my thoughts on each, and we'll talk about what else we know based on other footage we've seen, as well as some info that was leaked out here within the last couple days. So let's knock out what we know so far to this point. Now what I'm going to talk about in these is a little bit based on map size as well, and when I talk about map size, I'm going to base it on how long it might take you to get from one end of the map to the other, as well as the width of the map, which promotes different routes. I'll throw some images up on the screen as we go along for you guys, just to kind of give you some reminders. First we had Frontier, which was the smallest map that we were given in the beta. It was based on the space station type setting, very hectic, very fast paced. I really felt like this map was the worst one that they gave us because it had no flow. It was just people ADSing the lower hallway that goes over the B-Dom flag and standing on the spiral staircases waiting for people to come around the corners. Just far too small for a game that has boost jumping and wall running and so forth, and the flow just really didn't seem to be there. Next we had Throwback, which I would say is a medium-sized map. I actually really liked this map. It had the classic 3-lane style to it, in a sense, and a lot of action took place all over the map, which was very nice. You weren't really just buried in the center with all the action. Everything kind of spread out to the sides and in some of the back alleys. I felt it played really well, with the center station being a switch point where you could pretty much go to any part of the map, and it felt just very open. I'm sure this one will not be a map that is skipped when it's given a choice to play there in your list. Third, we were given Frost, which I would say is another medium-sized map, 3-lane design. This map, I felt, kind of had too many choke points to it, especially in the center where the B-Dom was and the ice cave area. Everything felt very condensed, and I think they could have really opened up this map and given more play area. The only thing I really hated about this map was the lower wall run that's on the one cliff edge, because it allows for map control to be lost in any game. Instead of focusing on moving forward, you have to worry about somebody running on the bottom edge of the map getting behind you. Seems like they copied Treyarch's wall run from Infection with that one, if you ask me. Fourth, we were given Precinct, which was on the small to medium-sized scale, I would say. This one was okay, in my opinion. It wasn't great, it wasn't terrible, it was just kind of somewhere in the middle. And it was definitely a lot more open air and less inside buildings, which is a good thing for flow. The map has a ton of wall run spots that adds a lot of dynamics to the map, but overall I thought it played pretty well considering it wasn't a classic 3-lane style like we are kind of used to seeing or wanting. I know some of you might hate the way some of these were laid out, but to each their own. Look at it this way, I didn't like some of the maps from past CODs, but the more you play them, the more you grow into them, and the more you understand them, the more that you play them. So give it a chance and, see how it turns out. Finally, they gave us Terminal, which, of no surprise, wouldn't be in an Infinity Ward game without this map. I think they scaled it well for all the new movements and the wall runs, but the only thing I didn't like was the coloring. It was so dull, and they could have done so much more to brighten it up. I'll actually throw a picture up on the screen from what Terminal looked like in past games versus what it is now, and you could just see how dark the map really is in this new one. Now, I know it's out in space and whatever, but you could have still brightened it up a little bit. I said in my last video I thought that Infinite Warfare graphics were about 2 to 3 years behind, so I just expected more from a map that has been a staple for so long. So that about covers it from what we had in the beta. Now, if you recall back from COD XP, we were also given Breakout, which was based on the cliffside prison type setting, which had the caves on the far flank route and created that classic 3-lane style in a sense. I was hoping that we'd get that one in the beta, because we got to play it at COD XP, but it's good that they didn't give away the whole game right off the bat. Giving us 5 games in the beta really kind of set a good pace, but even not having Breakout, we still know it's out there and we know we're going to get it, so a lot more to come. Since I only played This one at COD XP, I think it played really well because it again was an open air in most places and not so confined. I think everyone will like this map when it comes out this weekend. So that is the 6 of the 13 maps that we know for sure that we've been able to play at this point. As far as the other 7, let's talk about those for a minute, as we know the names of each one of the maps at this point. Now, since we haven't played the remaining maps, obviously there's no gameplay to post, nor would I ever try to at this point, because I don't want somebody to come knocking down my door trying to take the game away from me or anything like that. I don't even have the game at this point. But what we do have is the images we were already given back in the trailers. I honestly didn't even think about this till last night when I was prepping things for this commentary. The name of the maps that we have still yet to play are Crusher, which has been classified as a medium-sized map based at a munitions facility. I put a link in the description below that someone posted on Reddit, but the title is written in German. Good news for translate programs out there, and it tells us that is something to the effect of a medium-sized map SDF ammunition factory that supports a variety of game styles on the edge of Mars. It has a Foundation DLC map feel kind of to it from the MW3 days, and just based on the picture. Scorch is the next one, which is a mining facility based map. We also have Skydock, which is based on a futuristic floating shipyard. Mayday, which we have very little information on at this point. I actually couldn't even find a picture that might even relate to that one. We also have Retaliation, which they are calling a classic style map that is reimagined. Another map called Grounded, which is some type of spaceship crash site. And then finally the map Genesis, which has now been leaked as the remake of the ever-classic Dome map or Strike Zone from Ghost. There's a link in the description below also from a Reddit user who posted the image of Genesis, so go ahead and check that out. Dome was obviously one of the more popular maps of any past COD, so hopefully they did a good job with it. I think the movement system would be useful if they allowed us to outside or lower wall run, just to open it up a little bit more. And the pictures of the train that runs through the top of the map, it's probably a good idea since there's boost jumping in the game and they just didn't want people spamming over the top of fences, just shooting people, from long range the whole game. So we'll see how it plays out. So other than that, let's take a look at a few screen caps from the trailer and see if we can't figure out the maps that they're playing. In this first cap, we have a very rough ground with a planet-like rocks and defense missiles in the background. There does appear to be some wreckage in the background, which would lead me to think that this is the grounded map with the crashed ship. More dark colors in this map, which seems to be a catching theme for this game. In the next cap, it's inside the RC8 score streak, but we can gather a few things from this image. First, if you look at the top left corner, it tells us in the callout that we are on the overhang portion of the map. It also looks like there is a lot of rock in this map in the near side and base of which it could suggest that we're in the Scorched map, which I mentioned was the mining facility a little bit earlier. The next 3 images all seem to be from the same map, which I'm going to guess is Retaliation, which they say was the reimagined map with a classic style. We see a lot of structures from the European cities, kind of like Paris, and the stonework, which seems like a very classic type map. From some of these images, it reminds me of Resistance from MW3, which was one of the more popular maps, and I'll throw that image up on the screen for you guys right now. So what do you think? It's pretty close, isn't it? Not exactly on it, but it's very, very close. I do like the bright colors on this one, so that alone should put this one pretty high on my standing with me. As I've talked about, colors are very important, so I just don't want to be in something that's very drab and boring. The next image we see here is probably from the map Skydock, and my only basis for that is the call out in the top left corner. It says Upper Dock, and we can see some water area on the mini-map as well. That would be my best guesstimation on that one. Another map here that appears to have bright colors, which would make for some good gameplay, I would think. And finally, we have a screen cap from the trailer that points to the map Crusher. Pause the video real quick and re-look at the link in the description for Crusher. The trailer image shows the same tower in the background and the conveyor belts crossing over the path. I actually like the way that this one looks because it does have some bright colors from the sunlight that's casting down on the map, and it's not dark and dreary. This one also looks like it will have a lot of wall movement capabilities to get around the map a little bit quicker, so this one might be pretty fun. I don't know, we'll have to see when the game comes out this weekend. So the only other one we don't have any information on, like I mentioned before, is Mayday. Maybe we saw it in the trailer and are just not crossing the item with the picture, but we're only 4 days away, so we'll figure it out soon enough. So there you guys go. Hopefully you enjoyed a quick run through of the multiplayer maps and what we know to this point and what we've already seen through trailers and other gameplays. Like I mentioned in yesterday's video, which you should go check out if you haven't already, and the link is in the description below. I think this game has a lot of potential and might play a lot differently from the beta with all the updates and changes that Infinity Ward came out and said that they're doing. I think we'll get a better sense of the maps when we finally get to play some of the other game modes as well. You know, we can't really base things just off of 1 or 2 game modes. Are there any maps you are liking just from the images or ones that you've played so far? Feel free to leave them in the comments below and share this video with your friends if you liked what you saw. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're not on with me so far. As I say always, guys, I'll do my best to bring you quality content and gameplays throughout the year to the best of my ability. I like to have fun and will tell it to you straight. I'm not someone being paid by the developers to just share good information with you and to promote things. So if you want honest commentaries and pretty good gameplays, follow along with me and I'll do my best for you. Thank you guys once again for dropping by. The gameplay will be wrapping up here in the background pretty soon, and I'll see you on my next video.
Friendly bombardment incoming. Friendly drone support active. Mission accomplished. A good day's work.